Today is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, everyone. My name is Hunter. I've been doing YouTube here for a few years on the weather, and we're tracking weather here, definitely across the United States. As we go forward here, even into Thanksgiving week, we're talking about a couple of powerful storm systems, of which will bring very heavy rainfall, a rare high risk for flash flooding, very heavy snowfall, and a lot of wind. So we're going to get to that here in the video. So make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. Make sure to turn on the post notification bell so you are notified when I do post my videos and live streams here in the future. Like the video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out more than you know. And of course, leave any comments, questions, concerns below. We'll always get to those after the video. Let's look here at the GOES satellite imagery across North America here on this Tuesday, because we have a couple of powerful storm systems here. One of them occluding up here into the Great Lakes, a cold front extending down from that into the eastern U.S., bringing some severe weather down here to parts of the southeast here on this Tuesday. Another powerful storm system here, the likes of which the Pacific Northwest hasn't seen in over 10 years, is moving in as we go over the next 24 hours. So we're going to be talking about that. Before we talk about that, though, let's look at our morning lows this morning. It was a mild start in Chicago. Yeah, on the lake there at 61 degrees this morning, likely your high temperature for the day. And then mid-60s there in Nashville at 64, 70 to start off the morning there in Jackson, Mississippi. You can see all the colder air bottled off here to the west. You can see that's going to try to move east as we go into this afternoon. But see, again, their high temperature in Chicago is likely reached this morning. We may actually fall back into the mid and upper 50s in the Chicagoland area this afternoon with those gusty winds on the backside of this low pressure system, and actually remain steady at 64 in the Nashville region, and maybe only climb a few degrees in Jackson as well, only to 75 this afternoon. There is your powerful low pressure system, 986 millibars sitting in southeastern Manitoba, Canada, and a cold front extending down across the eastern U.S. That is bringing a lot of wind with it on the backside. And we actually do have some higher wind gusts of 50, perhaps 60 miles per hour through your Wednesday time frame up here across the Black Hills region of the Dakotas, back into northern Nebraska, and even some gustier winds in their own right, gusting 30, 40 miles an hour closer to places like Milwaukee, Chicago, Des Moines, even Kansas City through your Wednesday as well. This system is still bringing the potential for isolated severe thunderstorms. This is mainly a localized area across southern Alabama and northwest Florida. This is a level 1 marginal risk for severe weather, but it is not to be ignored. We have a 2% chance of tornadoes here in Mobile, Pensacola, extending down here toward Panama City. So if you live in any one of those three cities or around there, make sure you have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings throughout the day, as some of those storms could be wreaking havoc with damaging winds, some hail, and even a couple of isolated tornadoes this afternoon. Some showers spreading up there into parts of the Poconos and into the mid-Atlantic states as we go into the afternoon as well. Heavier snows for southern Manitoba, southeast Saskatchewan, maybe parts of northern North Dakota as we go into the afternoon, as that colder air wraps around the backside of this low pressure system. Let's talk about that colder air. So by midweek tomorrow, you can see it's going to start to usher into the central United States from the west, and then pull into the southeastern U.S. later this week, whereas the western part of the United States will actually be warming up out ahead of our next powerful low pressure system. And folks, this is one of the strongest low pressure systems that I can remember here into the Pacific Northwest. This has it down to 942 millibars. Folks, this is literally equivalent to a category 3 or 4 hurricane, and this is moving very close to the Pacific Northwest. So what that's going to do is produce a lot of moisture, a lot of wind and impacts here. So today we start to see some of those impacts across Washington State, Oregon, and far northwest California in the form of snow in the higher elevations, rain in the lower elevations, and those precipitation will be light as we go through today. It will pick up in earnest as we go into tonight as the main low pressure starts to get closer to the Pacific Northwest. Very heavy snows for the Cascades down here into the northern Sierras, and very heavy rain for places like Seattle, Portland, down into northwestern California near the coast tonight. That'll continue. Atmospheric river conditions on your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it's going to be a cumulative effect here where multiple days of very heavy rain, very heavy snow will lead to a lot of precipitation, in particular for Northern California and Southwest Oregon, areas that could see 14 inches. Yes, 14 inches, over a foot of rain between now and Saturday on November 23rd, and this could cause some flash flooding. So starting off today, marginal risk near the coast of Washington State, Oregon, all the way down to Northwest California, slight risk for Southwest Oregon and Northwest California near the coast. A large moderate risk for flash flooding tomorrow in Northwest California. This is widespread flash flooding is possible on your Wednesday, and then a rare high risk for flash flooding. This is still 3 days out on Thursday, and this is definitely concerning because this part of California has not experienced a high risk for flash flooding since 2016. And by the way, facts do remain true. This hasn't happened since 2012, folks, for Northwestern California, and then we still have that slight risk on Friday. So a rare high risk for flash flooding in Northwest California, the likes of which hasn't happened in 12 years. So definitely keeping an eye on that. And just to kind of understand what those excessive rainfall categories are, a moderate risk for flash flooding. Numerous flash floods are likely. Some could be significant, affecting larger rivers and streams in those areas. A high risk, widespread flash floods are expected, and areas that don't normally flood could flood in this situation. So make sure to seek higher ground and be alert for any flash flood warnings or flash flood emergencies as we go forward throughout the week. And not only going to be the rainfall, it's going to be the snow as well. It's going to really be piling up for the Cascades, the northern Sierras up here, and even parts of the northwestern Rockies. A lot of these areas seeing feet of snow, and some could see over 70 inches worth of that as we go through the weekend. So just incredible for those ski resorts out west. And as we go to the weekend, you can see our two main powerful low pressure troughs across parts of the northeast U.S. and southeastern Canada near Nova Scotia and Maine, and then another one here in the Pacific Northwest this weekend. And here are your temperatures in between those two monstrous low pressure systems. Saturday afternoon, look at our temperatures only into the 20s across the north here, especially if we can add some snow on the ground into northern North Dakota. Looking at our lows Sunday morning, if you're headed off to church or have any errands to run Sunday morning, make sure to bundle up here this weekend because it's going to start off in the teens across portions of Montana, North Dakota, and even northern South Dakota, and the 20s across portions of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. And we're only going to be warming up Sunday afternoon back into the 20s, 30s, and 40s across the north and the northeast. So it's going to be a cold weekend ahead as we go through this weekend up there. And precipitation, again, we're seeing some pesky rain and snow showers. Nothing too significant for the Great Lakes, the Northeast or Southeastern Canada, but just kind of a nuisance to keep around as we go into the weekend. The atmospheric river continues on Saturday and into Sunday. We finally begin to shut it off by Sunday. So really going to be seeing a lot of moisture out there. And then that turns into Thanksgiving week. This is Monday, November 25th through Friday, November 29th. And you can see another big low pressure trough going to be moving further inland from the west coast into the central U.S. and setting up a battleground in between. And we're going to see a lot of colder air ushering in from Western Canada into first the Western U.S. on Monday to start the week, and then that's going to slide east into the Central U.S. by Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving on Friday. Look at these temperatures could be up to 40, 50 degrees below norm for Montana, Wyoming, the Western Dakotas, into portions of the Nebraska Panhandle, northeastern Colorado by the time we get to this time frame, if this comes into fruition. And this is going to come with some fanfare. We're going to have some precipitation as well across a large chunk of the United States and southern Canada. And hey, we'll take it. We need the beneficial rain whenever we can get it with the drought ongoing. And a lot of that could be falling from the northeast back through the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys and into the southeast. Pretty dry in the middle of the country, and then picking up with a little bit of moisture across the west. And that moisture will likely be squeezed out in the form of snow because, right, we're cooling down out west. Only makes sense that the precipitation type will predominantly be snow. as those temperatures get a lot colder through next week. So make sure to stay updated with the latest weather information right at your fingertips with subscribing to the channel here. Turn on post notifications so you are notified when I do post a video in the future and live stream as well. Make sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button down below, because this information is vital, especially for our friends over there in the Pacific Northwest. They need to know about this information because life-threatening flash flooding is likely later this week. Make sure to also leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on after the video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Tuesday out there.